Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beth. And for today's video, I am going to be doing a haul video essentially. So everything I purchased during, I guess, the general holiday sales period. So from Black Friday or the weeks leading up to Black Friday even, through to the after Christmas sale. So just one kind of collective haul video. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first item I thought I would share with you is the Charlotte Tilbury, what is this called? Pillow Talk Beautifying Face Palette in the fair to medium variation. And I purchased this from Beautylish. It wasn't technically, I guess, in a Black Friday sale, but I did use the credit I got from the gift card event, which was about $40. So I ended up getting this for about, I guess, $35 essentially. So anyway, this is what I am wearing on my cheeks today. And of course it has the beautiful packaging there. And to show you what I am wearing, basically it's the Pillow Talk blush kind of all over the cheeks, and then some of this brighter pink blush kind of more on the apples. And I used this highlighter right here. So that is what is on my cheeks today. I tried to incorporate as many of the items that I'll be showing you as possible. And I don't know that this would be a kind of must-have, but certainly very pretty packaging, and because I was able to use that credit, I decided to pick it up. So getting more into, I guess, actual Black Friday territory, I guess I should mention that the reason why I didn't do a Black Friday haul kind of closer to actual Black Friday was my husband and I left for London on the evening of the 13th of December, and then we were gone for 2 weeks. So there was one order in particular that I was waiting on, and in general, I just didn't have time to film a Black Friday haul. So that is why I'm kind of combining things into one video here. But anyway, mid-November, I purchased the Midnight Sun palette from Pat McGrath. This was about $65, I believe, with the 15% off that they had. So as you probably know, this palette has garnered a little bit of, I guess, attention and controversy because Pat McGrath launched or relaunched the same palette later on. I think right after Christmas or around Christmas was when the Star Wars collection launched. But she basically launched this same palette with different outer packaging and a sticker on the actual case. But the actual component and the shadows are the same. So I'm glad I was able to pick it up basically half off. And I do have several other motherships in my collection now. I have Divine Rose, Bronze Seduction, whatever the most recent one was, I forget the name of it, and then of course this one. So I have used this, I believe, at least once already, and I was able to get a very pretty look out of it. People have been speculating a lot on like how this palette has been selling because it's basically been on sale for so long, and then of course why. That's the really beautiful celestial shade there, this one, and why they chose to basically repackage it as a Star Wars palette. So who's to say, really, other than the brand itself? But I'm glad I was able to finally pick this up. I'd had my eye on it for a while, even when it was on sale for like $77. But when things are on sale on the Pat McGrath website, you generally can't apply codes to them to get an additional discount. But for whatever reason, there was like an additional 15% off. So I was able to get that extra savings, and so I decided to kind of finally leap at the chance to purchase it. So I'm happy to have this one, although like I said, I'm definitely glad I was able to pick it up when it was on sale before. I believe it's now back to full price, which is kind of shady, but anyway, have another mothership in my collection. And I thought I would also mention that I did get the Bridgerton Scintillating Diamond Body Shimmer. This one, I'm not sure if the printing was as intended on this because it looks like it's a little offset, if you see that. But I just got this at TJ Maxx because I'd heard on Reddit that parts of the Bridgerton collection were at TJ Maxx. And of course I didn't want this enough to pay full price for it, but I think it was like maybe like $17 or whatever. So I just picked it up for the collector value. So just wanted to share that I got this as well. And then from Glamlite. So this is one of the earlier Black Friday sales that I shopped, but it was the last Black Friday order to arrive, I guess. So I placed the order on November 19th, but it didn't arrive until December 19th. So like a full month later. And by the time it did arrive, we were actually in London, but our apartment complex has like a package locker system. So the package was secure. I think after a few days, they start to tell you that they may remove the packages or whatever to make room for more, but I had notified our apartment complex that we were going to be out of town. So anyway, it was still waiting for us when we got back. But as I said in my kind of initial Lisa Eldridge video, which I still need to edit, when I was talking about the order I placed when her eyeshadow palettes first launched, I purchased the Vega palette and also some of the single eyeshadows. And in that video, I go through swatches and that kind of thing. But I think it was really the refills that were holding up the shipping process. And in that video, I said that, you know, I understand, especially for smaller companies, when they're getting a large volume of orders, that it may take more time. But I feel like Glamlite was another company where they just weren't communicating that. And so I'd reached out to them at some point, especially as we were nearing our departure date for London, because obviously I was trying not to order things that would arrive after we left. And they said something along the lines of, you know, they were backed up or whatever. So anyway, I got the package eventually, but I was a little disappointed, I guess, in the communication aspect. So I got the full Scooby-Doo collection, which I'd had my eye on, I guess, since it launched, but I was holding off for a good sale. And I've heard kind of mixed things about this collection, but I kind of just picked this up as more of a collector type item. Some of these palettes in particular do look really stunning. Again, I've heard kind of mixed things, I guess, when it comes to the quality. Can never find my spatula when I need it. But anyway, this is a really beautiful palette from the looks of it anyway. And I just thought it was a really kind of fun collection. So this had the two larger eyeshadow palettes. And I think I got this full collection for like $60 something, $69 maybe, and originally it was like $115. So I got that eyeshadow palette. There's some lashes, which I would normally probably skip on. This other palette that has more of this kind of green blue color story. This highlighter I was really interested in, again, just more from the packaging perspective. And when I say I kind of picked it up from a collector's perspective, I don't just put this in a box and not think about it or look at it forever. Seasonally, I do kind of rotate in a different makeup display, so I will definitely pull this out next Halloween. This has that really cool lenticular type effect. So that was one of the main things that I wanted. And then we had the Bat Scara, which was really clever in terms of the naming, has that kind of soft touch look to it. And also there was a Bat Eyes eyeliner, which looks like so. And then I think the remaining things were 3 lipsticks from this little collection anyway. So 3 different shades like so in different packaging. I'll just open one here. They had kind of fun embossing. So this one has little spiders on it with a spider web. And if you look really closely, you can see that kind of shiny spider embossing. Yeah, I went ahead and got the whole collection just to make it easy on myself. And then I also got a couple of their taco lashes. So I had the, I guess, Glamlite taco lashes, and I guess Pollo was the variation. And then I also had the chocolate taco lashes, which look like so. A little bit too dramatic for me, but like I said, I like to kind of use these items for display, and you can't fault Glamlite for their packaging. I also got their tequila lip gloss, I think it is. And then finally the Barbie Beach Proof eyeliner, which I thought was really cute in the shape of a surfboard. So that is what the eyeliner looks like. So that was my Glamlite order. And then from Ulta, I finally picked up the Urban Decay Naked Wild West palette, which had been on my kind of wish list for a while, but I feel like for naked palettes anymore, like I just have a hard time paying anything over half price for them, just knowing the quality. But I do kind of like to collect a lot of them. So really stunning packaging on this one, and that is what the shades look like. I really wish that Urban Decay would reformulate its eyeshadows. I know they did reformulate not so long ago, but that was mostly to make them vegan. And in general, I just don't think their eyeshadow quality really cuts it these days. But anyway, I still do enjoy using them from time to time. And I liked the overall color story of that palette. I also got this headband, which is really pretty, pink velvet with rhinestones. Unfortunately, it's a little tight for me, I think, but it's kind of pretty just to look at, to be honest. So I got that. And then I also got 3 items from the Muppets collection that they did. Like I said, I have a kind of Christmas display that I did, and I'll show you maybe a little clip of me going through it. But I got the Fonzie Bear Super Shock Shadow. I really love how they do these kind of, I don't know how you describe it, but these little cutouts of the characters. So this was Waka Waka, and I like the picture of Fonzie on the actual product. And of course, this was Yay, which is the Kermit shade. So liked those. And then I also wanted, of course, to get a Miss Piggy shade. I didn't like how they, I guess, drew her as far as how she looks on the Super Shock packaging, but you can kind of get a sense of it there. Moi. But the picture of her in the wreath is really pretty, and then I also like just the side angle of all the glitter. So I got those from the Muppets collection. The Muppets Christmas Carol is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I know that has gotten a bit more attention this year, or late last year, because I think it was the 30th anniversary, but that's been my favorite Christmas movie since I was an actual child. So it's well-deserved attention in my opinion, and I would love if anyone ever collaborated with that specific variation of the Muppets. And then I also got some static nails items from Ulta. So I purchased some items from Ulta and then some from the Static Nails website because they were having a sale as well. So from the Ulta website, I got these ones, which are the double French round. And I actually wrote those letters. It doesn't come like that. But I did that when I was kind of trying them on, just so I would kind of keep track of what sizes fit which finger. So I have like thumb, middle, index, ring finger, and pinky is kind of how I set it up. So haven't used these in particular, but I have tried a couple pairs from them, which I'll talk about. So I got those from Ulta. I also got a brush-on glue. I know they come with glue in the packaging, but I feel like this is just a little bit easier to maneuver because I can brush my nail and then also brush the back of the fake nail. And it's just like a normal kind of nail polish brush. So that makes it really easy. So I got the static nails that I showed you, the glue and the headband, and I was able to use like a 10 off of 40 coupon. So from the Static Nails website itself, I got a bundle which included these, which are called Barcelona French Round. So just kind of a red French tip. I thought I might actually use these on Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day because I think they would be appropriate for that time of year. And then in that bundle, I think it also included this set, which is what I brought to London that I talked about in that What I Packed for London video. This is the To Me From Me round. So you can see it has some nails that I think have like that velvet effect to them, but the other ones are just kind of a metallic red. So I had those that I never ended up using. And then this other set that I have worn, this is called Here for Champagne. So I think that video I filmed where I showed you what I brought to London, I was wearing these. I did end up kind of trimming them so they weren't quite so pointed, and then I filed them. So they looked a little bit different on my nails than they do look in the packaging, but they do have that kind of velvet glitter effect, I think, on the tips. And just to briefly talk about the wears, so I've worn 2 different sets now. The first set I ever wore were the Champagne Round. Again, I think I was wearing these in the Lisa Eldridge video that I've filmed but not edited and uploaded. So these have, I think, the velvet or cat eye effect on all of the nails. And a few things I've learned. So they tell you that one side of the nail is thinner to kind of fit more seamlessly into your cuticle. And with the round variations, I think it's a little bit more difficult to keep track of which end that is. And I think you do want to just be really careful that you're putting the thinner side on your cuticle, because what I experienced with these is that they were kind of, they were just like chipping and kind of cracking. And so what I was doing towards the end of wearing them was just kind of cutting them down to where my natural nail was, hoping that would lend them some more strength. And then I think after a few days, I just completely lost one of the nails, and so I just took them all off. So I think for me, although they do advertise that these are good for up to 2 weeks, I think, or you can reuse them, I think for me, these are more of a short-term solution. So they're really pretty, and I guess I see a place for them in my nail care or manicure routine, but like these even, I think didn't last that many days on me, and I lost a couple nails, but when I returned back to work, I think they were just too long and I was finding it really frustrating to type, so I ended up just removing them. And also the glitter was starting to kind of chip off and flake and everything, so that's kind of my experience with them. I am curious to try other like pop-on nails. I know I've tried some of the Impress ones with like the tabs, and I had decent success with those. OPI sells some, and I'd be interested in trying those. I heard, I think, State of Kate talk about the Olive and June ones that you can get at Target, and those are about half the price of these. So I don't know. I usually do my nails myself, and so I'm always kind of looking into new options to try out. What I'm wearing on my nails today is this Essie Expressi polish in Mike Drop It Low. So I picked this up because it was close to the Pantone Color of the Year, Viva Magenta. So I just thought I would go ahead and put it on my nails, but I'll probably be talking about this polish in a future video dedicated to the Pantone Color of the Year. And then I also got the Static Nails Remover, which does a pretty good job. Unfortunately, as I said in my what I packed for London video, it's not very travel friendly because it's kind of a heavy glass bottle with a dropper. In lieu of getting an actual mini glass bottle with a dropper, I haven't found, I guess, a good option to make this more travel friendly. So anyway, it's good to have, and I definitely have used it. Let's see how much I have left here. I've definitely used it a couple times now to remove the static nails, but anyway, I picked that up as well. And then from Spectrum brushes. So I had one item in particular that I was interested in, and I picked up a few extra items just to, I think, get over the free shipping threshold. So the item I was really interested in that I think sold out when it first launched was the Cinderella, what is this called? It's the glass slipper acrylic storage. And I love that they make it look like an actual shoebox. As you can see there, size, the perfect fit. And this, like I said, I think had sold out. And so they said they were restocking it. I think now it's in stock, so if you wanted to pick this up, you could. And I think I got this for about $27. I don't think the price now is really that much more, but it has a hair of mine in it. But anyway, I guess I'm a moderate Disney fan, but I also just loved kind of the tie-in and how they used the IP in this way. So as you can see, it's kind of set into this little satin box. I think there was an option to get coordinating brushes that would go into it as a set, or I think you can purchase those separately. But anyway, it's like the Cinderella glass slipper. It says Disney Cinderella on the back there. But you could also just put in your own brushes as well. So that's kind of how it would look. So again, I just kind of picked this as more of a collector's piece, and just for the sake of really enjoying how it looks. If I can get it back into the box, that is. All right, so I think that's basically what it looked like. It was a little difficult to kind of get back into it. And then I also got a set from the Mean Girls collaboration they did because, again, I thought this would be fun to display at Christmas. I think they called this the Yugo Glen Coco set, which, if you've seen the movie, you no doubt recognize.
Glen Coco? Fall for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
This was about $9, and it just says, I don't send them, I just get them here. And a picture of the burn book, and on the bottom here it says, and none for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
And none for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
Anyway, I just thought that'd be fun to pick up. I think I got a set of candy cane brushes from Glamlite last year, but these are also fun because they're pink. And then last but not least, I picked up an item from the Emily in Paris collection. If you are a fan of this show, I think I've still seen items from, I guess it would have been the second season when they released their collection, but they're still in stock on the Spectrum website and I think on sale as well. So I just got this set of 3 like macaron sponges that I thought were cute, and these were, I think, about $8 as well. So got those from Spectrum. And then from Hourglass, so I had purchased the, I think, elephant palette from Hourglass earlier in the season. I think I had like $10 off and I used points or something. But I finally did get the tiger palette with the butterfly insides, which is, sounds bad, the butterfly shades, which is something you can only do on the Hourglass website itself. So I was kind of waiting for their Black Friday sale. And I also opted to pay for a gift box as well because I thought they were just so cute. And you could choose any of the, I guess, 3 designs, but not only did I love the tiger design, but I was also getting the tiger palette, so I thought it was kind of fitting. So this was the outer packaging. You would just tie it in a bow. And then on the inside, has some tissue paper, of course, and some of that paper packaging. There was also a little gift with purchase. This was the Equilibrium Intensive Hydrating Eye Balm, which I haven't tried before. It does actually look like a balm. That's really interesting. So anyway, I might give that a try. I do have very dry, dehydrated skin. But yeah, this was the outer packaging, as you've no doubt seen by now. And I think they had 20% off, so I was able to get it for about $68 instead of $85. And that was what the packaging looked like. I'm always a sucker for these Hourglass holiday palettes, even though I don't always think they're the most useful to me, but still very beautiful. And I hadn't tried any of their new kind of tin style of packaging, so I wanted to try that out as well. And knowing that I was going to be traveling, I thought maybe I would end up bringing one of these blush palettes. I just ended up bringing single blushes and highlighters, but anyway. My one critique or thing that I wish was different is that I wish these were magnetic instead of just relying on the tie. Obviously, they're designed so that they can kind of fold flat before they're put together, but I think that for me would have made it a little bit more luxurious and something I could have used a little bit more easily for kind of long-term display or storage. I understand that maybe it was more expensive to do that, or they didn't want to do it for environmental reasons, but personally that is something I would have appreciated seeing. For example, I still have this Sephora gift box that I picked up a few years ago now. It's kind of dusty, but you can see it does have a magnetic closure. I don't mind it having a bow as long as it's also magnetic, but this is where I store appropriately all of my like various Hourglass powder products. So some of their older holiday palettes, as well as some single powders and that kind of thing. So anyway, I do actually hold on to these and use them. But anyway, other than the Charlotte Tilbury blush and highlighter palette, one of the first items I tried today that I purchased from Sephora is the Danessa Myricks, what are these called? Vision Color. These are the Vision Flush Lip, Cheek, and Eye colors. So they're kind of multi-use little products here. This is in the shade Nutcracker. As you may know, I am kind of a sucker for names and themes and that kind of thing. And it being around the holidays in particular, you know, the name Nutcracker was definitely attractive. And I collect nutcrackers. But I think what kind of tips me over the edge with this, that's what the applicator looks like, is Glam Girl Chelsea talked about this type of product. The shade she talked about in a video was a little bit darker, so more suited to her complexion, but I think this is the lighter of these colors in this kind of shade family, kind of this, you know, brown contour type shade. So she had talked about this and that kind of renewed my interest. And Sephora had this kind of deal, like various websites do from time to time, where if you use Afterpay, which is a service where you basically pay over time, it doesn't charge you interest, but you break up your purchase into multiple payments. They had a deal where if you paid with Afterpay, you got like 25% off. So I went ahead and picked up this product. I just want to swatch it next to the KVD liquid contour, which is often my go-to. And it looks like I'd say the KVD is warmer, but maybe a little bit more sheer. So anyway, so I went ahead and took advantage of that offer and got a slight discount for it. I would not recommend Afterpay to anyone, really, based on some experiences I've had with basically people making fraudulent purchases on my account and having to kind of sort that out. So I might talk about that in a future video. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, for now, I would not recommend Afterpay as a service. This is the Fenty Matchstick in Amber, by the way, just for a little bit of a shade comparison. This one is even more cool toned. It's a little bit more yellowy, really. The point is, regarding this Danessa Myricks color, is I was worried it would be a little bit too pigmented and that it wouldn't work well in the way I wanted to use it, which was to use it as like a liquid contour. But I was pleasantly surprised by how it blended out, and I like the tone of it. So just from sheer kind of, I guess, packaging perspective, let's see, this is 6 ml or 0.21 fluid ounce KVD, which I just had in my hand. This is a very bulky little tube here. This is 17 ml, so you are getting roughly 3 times the amount of product. So there is that to consider. But anyway, I've discovered that I really do like a liquid contour like this. I just find that it's super blendable, super easy to use. I'm interested in trying the Hindash liquid product like this eventually when it comes to, I guess, Beautylish or Beauty Bay. But anyway, I was happy to try out another product like this. And then I did place an order when they offered the additional like one-time use 20% off code. I think I actually waited until the bitter end, like the day before we left, to place the order. I mentioned that I ordered the Tom Ford travel spray in Velvet Orchid, wanting to take it to London with me, but that was out of stock and it was canceled. It was already like half off, so I guess it just went out of stock. But anyway, I did end up using that 20% off / 30% off of Sephora items coupon before I left. So I had like same day delivery basically. So I got the Pat McGrath Celestial Nirvana palette at last. I haven't purchased any of the palettes in this size from her holiday collections in the past, but I wanted to just kind of try it out. I'll tell you what I am wearing. So I used a powder all over the lid to kind of set things, and then I used that brown right there in the crease, which ended up being, I think like a lot of Pat McGrath shadows, they're kind of deceptive in their pigmentation. They do blend pretty well for the most part, but I was looking at this little quad up here as kind of maybe being a really good everyday quad, and I think it has a little bit more oomph than I might be prepared for on a kind of daily basis. Like I didn't even use this darker brown at all. So this lighter brown still kind of went on pretty strong. This bronze shade that I have on the outer corner looks really beautiful. I did do my eyes first before I did my base, and there was significant fallout with this bronze shade using a dry brush. So I think that is a shadow that I would definitely approach with caution. Let's see, so these are the mattes. I mean, really nice and pigmented for sure. That is the bronze shade. So after I applied it with a dry brush, I mean, look at that shine though. I think I could use probably those two shades on a daily basis for work and not run into any trouble because I didn't get kind of super significant fallout with that shade. I'm getting shadow on my knuckles because I still have a significant amount of product on my fingers after swatching. So yeah, I think I'd probably get away with just two shades, with that one kind of more bronze metallic shade. It was definitely a looser shade that had a lot of fallout, so I would definitely recommend doing your eyes first, and I would probably just go in from the outset with a wet brush or maybe a tacky base, something like that, because applying it with a dry brush over a set lid definitely had a lot of fallout. So I do like the look that came out of it, and let's see, I ended up paying, it was marked down to 62. I think it's still available at 62, down from 82, and then I had the additional 20% off on top of that. So I'm not mad at it for the price I paid, but I think for most Pat McGrath shadows, I just have to be prepared to put in a little bit of time with them. And then also the new Rare Beauty highlighters had just launched around that time. So I got the lightest shade in Enlighten, and I haven't played with this yet, so I can't really speak to how it looks. I might actually just put a little bit on the cheeks now, actually. I think this has gotten pretty good reviews kind of across the board. I'm just going to use my Anastasia A23 brush. Whew. You see that? I already had the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter from that palette, but the Rare Beauty one is not playing for sure. Let's see if I go in with kind of a more precise brush. This is the Wingos number 4. Yeah, I think maybe having a little bit more control over this product is a good idea. But anyway, I have also, to spoil my future video, I have also picked up the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, which was kind of my plan all along. So I did pick up this Charlotte Tilbury highlighter in Moonlit Glow, which is also the fairest highlighter in this range. So I know you've all probably seen a lot of comparisons and that kind of thing about these products already. And just to let you know, again, kind of my future plan, I kind of want to do a video about like different white highlighters. I know highlighters have kind of come in and out of fashion, but there's something about kind of shiny products on your face that never really gets old. I think the Charlotte Tilbury one is maybe a little bit more yellow leaning. But anyway, I purchased this highlighter when I was able to get the 20% off. And then the last two items I picked up were part of the Sephora collection, so I was able to get 30% off of these two. And I purchased these because Pantone had announced its color of the year for 2023, which I've already alluded to in this video. And I like to film a video every year that kind of riffs on different interpretations of the color. So this is of course there isn't any box or anything I can refer to, but I'll put it down below what this actual product is called. I like that they have the color indicator in the top. And this was a eyeliner, retractable eyeliner in the shade 03 Purple. So I'll be featuring both of those in an upcoming video, but yeah, I went ahead and picked those up and I was able to get a good discount. So that was it for my Black Friday haul, and then I did pick up a few things after Christmas. So there's a website called Cosbar. I don't know if they are like e-commerce only or if they have physical locations, but I follow the Instagram account Beauty Deals BFF, and they had kind of spread the word about this particular sale, and they had some pretty good deals. So I went ahead and placed an order. So these are basically all Nest candles. I got this trio, which is their wellness votive trio, and I had tried 2 of these before. They have wild mint and eucalyptus, and also driftwood and chamomile. And I've tried samples of both of those before. I hadn't tried Himalayan salt and rosewater, but I do love rose scents, so I thought there was a pretty good chance I would like that one as well. I can get this thing open. Yeah, so I really do like that, and the reason I picked up so many like this, it has some, I think this is from the like packaging or whatever, some black stuff I need to get off, but the reason I wanted all these votives in particular was they're really good like bath candles because they're small enough to sit on the ledge. They're glass, so I can still move them while I'm in the bath, about to kind of turn the shower on without burning my hands. And overall, they're just really good quality candles for the price and for the size. So I got those 3. And for the sake of comparison, I thought I would just quickly show you. These are like the little sample size that I've been using in the bath. These are, how big are you? 0.95 ounces or 27 grams. You can tell that I've used this one before. These are still pretty good for the bath because it's kind of an enclosed space. It doesn't have to be too strong. But these are each 2 ounces. So about twice the size of this little sample. So I got these as being kind of nice all year round kind of scents. And then I did also get, so this set, by the way, was around $28. It's usually $48, so I got about $20 off. I thought was pretty good. And then I also got some individual votives like this. This is pumpkin chai. It was about $10, down from $18, and I thought this would be fun in the fall. Looks like so. And then I also got some scents from their holiday collection. They did also have a trio of holiday scents, but I decided to just get 2 of the individual ones that I was interested in, and then I also ordered the holiday scent in a little ornament because I think that was actually cheaper than these, but that was canceled, so it must have been out of stock. So in retrospect, can't remember exactly what was in the trio. I'm not sure if they included both of these or if they included their pine scent instead, but anyway. I got 2 scents I hadn't experienced before. So I got the blue cypress and snow, which I thought would be kind of good in the winter months before we get into, I guess, February. So really pretty jar. Yeah, and this has a really nice creamy freshness to it. It says, the aroma of a snow-covered mountain retreat in winter is created by combining crisp blue cypress, juniper berry, and hints of smoked vanilla bean. It reminds me a bit of the winter candle from Bath & Body Works, which has been one of my favorites for years. So I like that one. It's kind of a nice winter scent. And then I also got this crystallized ginger and vanilla bean candle, which is a fairly new scent, I believe. Also really beautiful packaging on this one. This one is very creamy. So I think this is another one I could pretty much use whenever, but the pumpkin one is definitely pretty pumpkin-y, so I'll probably hold off on this one till the fall. But anyway, I do like having a nice little candle when I'm in the bath, and these are a great size at a great price. So can't beat that. And then continuing on with Christmas items on sale, I got this little card holder from Kate Spade. This is the, what is it called? I don't know. It's like a gingerbread card holder, and they say that the original value is like $129. I don't know how much it was when they first offered it. I purchased this from the Kate Spade Surprise site, which I think is their outlet store essentially, but anyway, I got this for about $50, which is a little steep, but like I said, I do like to display items like this, and gingerbread is another one of my kind of favorite holiday motifs, and I do love how they use the Kate Spade logo symbol there as the kind of door. So yeah, really cute, really unnecessary, but I did go ahead and pick that up. And then Pat McGrath had another crazy 40% off sale. I'm starting to worry a little bit about Pat McGrath and their longevity as a company. I mean, they keep releasing things, but you never know. So from Pat McGrath, I finally picked up one of their single highlighters, I guess in their permanent line. So this is in Lunar Allure. And because this was 40% off, I think it was about $28. And this seemed to suffer a little bit. I don't know if my postman was just not having a good day or what, but the powder is still pretty much intact, but you can definitely see that it suffered a little bit. But like I said, I do want to film a video featuring different kind of white icy highlighters, so I wanted to finally try this and hopefully get a Pat McGrath highlighter that would be light enough for me, because often her like limited edition highlighters are just not light enough for me. So I wanted to give this one a try, and I heard several people as they were doing their kind of end of the year roundups, best of type lists. I want to say that both Lauren Mae Beauty and Teresa's dad talked about her highlighters. So that had kind of been on my list for a while, and I finally decided to pick it up. And then I also got a lip pencil. This is in Divine Rose, and it's what I'm wearing today. So this wasn't really on my kind of long-term list, but I think Jenna Phrase is how she says her name. But I think she had talked about the Pat McGrath lip liners as being one of her favorites. So I decided to give the kind of ubiquitous shade of Divine Rose a try. It is a little bit warmer than I thought it would be based on the shades of the gloss and everything, but anyway, I got the lip pencil. And then I purchased this particular item later, obviously, but I thought I would just kind of lump it in with this order. I purchased the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad from her Lunar New Year collection. This I didn't get 40% off, unfortunately. I just got 10% off, which she normally offers for new collections. And as you may be aware, the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad is not a new colorway for Pat McGrath. She had launched this, I want to say, as part of the original Divine Rose blush collection. Like when her blushes first launched, I think this was the palette that she launched with it. And it kind of was under the radar a little bit. People have obviously talked about it since then, and I have her quad in Bronze Borealis, but I had always had my eye on this particular color story, and every time that she would have like a 40% off sale or whatever, I would always go to her website to see if it was in stock. It was always out of stock, coming soon. Apparently she's brought it back as part of her Lunar New Year collection, and I went ahead and picked it up because, I don't know, I just wanted it for so long and I wasn't sure when I would be able to get my hands on it in the future. I think this is another favorite of Lauren Mae Beauty, actually. So that is the quad, and again, because I'd wanted it for so long, I wasn't too salty about paying full price for it. Haven't used it on the lids yet, so we'll see how this does. Can't find my towel. So normally I don't go too crazy for the Lunar New Year collections. It's not, I guess, a holiday I really celebrate. So yeah, so the red packaging doesn't do anything for me really, other than because it's different than her normal black packaging. I will know which one it is just by the outer packaging, which is actually kind of a win in my book, because I've talked before about how annoying it is that all of her outer packaging basically looks the same. And I do also like this outer box. I think it's really cute. You can see there's a little rabbit there in the gold foil. So I think it's really cute. And like I said, I'd wanted it for a while, so I went ahead and picked it up. If you don't feel similarly, I think there's a chance that the original packaging will come back at some point, or that one will go on sale. Okay, so that was it from Pat McGrath. I just have 2 more orders to talk about. I purchased an order at Make Beauty for the first time. So again, I was kind of influenced by everyone's end of the year best of lists, and a lot of brands were also having kind of end of the year sales. So Make Beauty had a 20% off sale, and Khaki had talked about a couple of their products in her like best of videos towards the end of the year. So I picked up their Hydrascape Moisturizing Reverse Emulsion, which Khaki kind of compared to the Glossier Future Dew, which I talked about in my What I Brought to London video, and this kind of leaking a bit and making a mess. So I was kind of interested in finding some alternatives for the next time I travel, if nothing else. And this is another kind of hefty bottle, so I don't know that this is particularly travel friendly. I did use it today as my kind of priming, moisturizing step. I have to say, I do like that they have the logo on the cap there. I think it's a nice touch. So it has a very interesting, it looks like a very thin, milky texture. But what I found really interesting is that when you start to rub it in, it almost kind of feels like it's starting to grip to your skin, which is just like a very interesting type product because it is so thin. It's not like the e.l.f. or the Milk makeup products that are supposed to be really grippy. I don't know, it just has a quality that just feels like it's really kind of, it's not getting sticky. It feels like it's gripping. Like it doesn't start to spread out as much as you think it will. So I know I have glitter on this hand, but it's not maybe as oily as the Glossier. But so far I like it. It's just, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just had that kind of gripping quality that was a little surprising to me. And then I also got their Diffusion Set Translucent Pressed Powder in Translucent Fair. Really pretty compact, and I believe most of their powder compacts are refillable, so you could just purchase the insert if you wanted. Unfortunately, I've kind of brushed away some of the excess, but this one suffered a little bit from the same, I don't know, powdery kick-up quality as the Pat McGrath highlighter. And I think they were delivered on the same day. So again, I don't know if my postman was just having a bad day or whatever. I asked my husband if he had dropped the packages or anything, and he said no. So I did apply this earlier, but it has been probably going on 3 hours now. And as you can tell, I'm definitely kind of shinier in my forehead area. I did apply this Make Beauty Hydrascape kind of all over. I tried to apply the bulk of it on my cheeks and everything, but you know, I did still put a little bit on my forehead. And I will say, I don't know if you can kind of see it coming off there. It is, I think, kind of a looser or softer press of the powder. So there I just kind of powdered half my forehead so you could kind of see. And this is a kind of looser powder brush. I'm not quite sure what I think about this yet, which I think is, I guess, fair after basically using it once. I think, I want to say it was this side of the face where I really kind of went in and started buffing it more, which from what I recall, that was what Khaki was kind of saying about it, was that it was a really kind of smoothing powder. And I'm not sure if through that buffing process, if I was really kind of buffing it in or if I was starting to kind of remove some of the foundation I was wearing. So I don't know. I'm still kind of playing around with this, but I did end up trying out some Make Beauty products for the first time. I did actually get, now that I think of it, a Make like lip oil or something and a BoxyCharm, but I think those are the first items that I have picked out for myself. And then the very last order, I won't say I saved the best for last, but you know, it's a good one. So I just picked up a couple items from Victoria Beckham. They announced that like a lot of brands, they were going to be raising their prices after the new year. And in part because of that, they sent out a 15% off code that I was able to use. And I was really hemming and hawing over what I wanted to pick up because I didn't want to spend a ton of money, but the, I think, free shipping threshold is around $50. So I was kind of trying to figure out how much over that threshold I wanted to hit. So I knew I wanted to get another shade of the Satin Kajal liner. So I am currently wearing the shade Cocoa, which I purchased from Victoria Beckham in, I want to say it was October or November. It wasn't that long ago, but I've really enjoyed it, obviously. And I wanted a gray option, so I picked up the shade Ash. And I can never remember which side is which. So I have a ton of glitter on my hand, but these are super soft and creamy. And they will blend, as you can tell, but then once they set, they do set. And what I like to do with these, like I like to do with a lot of cream liners, is, as I've showed you, I'll take my little BK angled brush, which is right here. So I'll kind of run that over the tip of the eyeliner and use that to draw in my little wing. So anyway, I wanted a more cool toned option. I'm wearing the shade Cocoa, which is kind of a neutral dark brown, I guess. So it's very versatile, but I still thought I would enjoy having a different option. In fact, all right, so this is the shade Cocoa. And yeah, as you can tell, I've definitely gotten some good use out of that. So not a tremendous amount of difference there between the two shades, but I think a little bit of a tonal difference. So got another one of those. I kept debating whether I wanted to try one of her metallic liners or, yeah, you can see as that one has set down a little bit, it's a little harder to remove. One of her metallic liners or one of the new jewel liners, but in the end, in part because I just spent so much time Googling different images that I just got tired of it. So I opted instead to pick up one of her lid lusters. This is in the shade Chiffon, and I haven't tried this formula. I know Sophia Sees Beauty did a video kind of talking about all the different Victoria Beckham products that she's tried, and she had said that this wasn't kind of one of her favorite formulas from Victoria Beckham, but Khaki has spoken really highly of it, so I thought, you know, I just out of curiosity wanted to try it. It's one of those that has the little stopper, which I have tried a fair few like this before, and in part I just thought, that's a good amount of shine there. I just thought this shade with the ash liner would be really pretty. Yeah, that has a good amount of reflect. I feel like some of these things are just so shade specific too. But yeah, I haven't tried that on the lids yet. You want to make sure you keep those stoppers to keep products like this from drying out. It has a really pretty tortoiseshell lid, and it also is a little clear on the back, so you can actually see the shade, and it has the label as well. So that is some nice attention to detail. You get both the luxurious cap and the actual useful reference there. And it is pretty thin too. For some reason I thought these were going to be a bit chunkier. So that was it from Victoria Beckham, and because this was the second order I placed, I didn't know if I would be getting, this one is a little bit smaller than the other one. It's cute. So I didn't know if I'd be getting one of these little cloth bags, but I guess they include them in all of their orders, which is a nice touch. So for reference, I guess this is it has stuff in it obviously, but this is the bag I first got, and then this one is a little bit smaller, if you can tell. And I think with my original order, I had just ordered that cocoa eyeliner, so I don't really know kind of what the rhyme or reason is with that. But anyway, yeah, guys, that is it. I have been filming for over an hour and almost 15 minutes now. So we'll see what we end up with after the editing process. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the goodies I picked up during the Black Friday and after Christmas sales. I won't say that I am on a low buy for the month of January because I have definitely already ordered a few things, but I would say the clip of ordering has definitely kind of decreased in the last week or so. So good thing for my wallet anyway. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the new year and enjoying any new makeup goodies that you might have either purchased for yourself or received as gifts. And until next time, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.